What's going on, ladies? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about how to call out inconsistent men. Now, I've been up for, warning here, I've been up for 24 hours. I did not sleep. I don't know why, I just cannot sleep. And I just got back from working out, so I'm going to try to push through this. Bear with me, ladies, if I'm all over the place, but I am going to try to give you the most information possible. Now, before even jumping into it, let me just tell you something, ladies. Knowledge is everything. The more you have, the better decisions you can make, the better of a chance or opportunity you have to hook the guy, okay? It literally will make the difference between hooking him and losing him. Don't be the reason you lose the guy. Put all the odds in your favor and get this guide. Link is down in the description. So, let me just TLDR this, too long didn't read. I'm going to say in the beginning, before we even get into all like the stuff I'm going to break down, like what is inconsistency, why he's inconsistent, what does it mean, can you come back from all that kind of stuff. When it comes to calling out a dude, ladies, I want you to be nice but stern, at least in the beginning. Here's what I mean by that. The first time you call a dude out, I want you to even sound like you're concerned for him. I don't want you to be like, hey, mother effer, like, why are you pulling some bullshit? Why are you doing this? Are you a player? I knew, like, none of that. I just want you to say, hey, is everything okay? Hey, is everything good? Oh, yeah, why? What's up? What's up? And then you're just gonna kind of let it loose. That kind of lets you, like, ease into the situation. I don't know. You just seem to be acting a little different. I didn't want to be accusatory. I didn't know. I don't want to assume anything. It might be work or whatever, but you seem a little distant. And then see what he says. And then whatever he says, you need to come back with a standard. You need to say something along the lines of, hey, I totally understand. That's fine. I just want a little more communication. Would you be able to give me that? And if he says no, then this mother effer's wasting his time. If he says yes, that's the standard. Okay? If you have to call him out again after that, he knows the standard. You need to say, hey, is something up? I'm sure you're busy, right? Like whatever. Hey, I'm busy. Come on, man. It's like, okay, I know you are. We talked about this, but you said you were going to be able to I'm not trying to hear from you every day, homie. Like, I'm not saying I need to hear from you every day, but if you're busy, you can sit on the toilet and tell me that. I just want some type of consistency. And you need to let him know, I always tell women, you got to argue logic. You need to let him know that when he's inconsistent, what does it look like? Like, this is what it looks like, okay? And if you're inconsistent, it usually, it gives the woman the wrong impression. I tell women, as long as you argue logic, you're going to be okay. And if after that, then, hey, girl, it is what it is. So, let's jump into this. First off, why is he inconsistent? Inconsistency, ladies, through a lack of attraction, at least when it comes to attraction, comes about when he's either taking you for granted, so you're too abundant, and or he's too abundant and you're going along with it, or he doesn't completely believe / he's not convinced that the assets are worth the cost, meaning that he's unsure about you and being with you long term or investing in you, okay? So in a nutshell, I tell ladies, if he's consistent with you, it means I like you. I want you to continue investing in these assets, for whatever reason, to see where it goes. Longevity. Usually when a guy's investing in a girl long term, it's to see what's going on long term. If he's semi-consistent, that means there's uncertainty there. I believe I need to be careful with my resources. Ladies, resources are finite. Time, energy, effort, money, they're all limited. I want to be sure I'm investing in the right thing. Therefore, I'm going to slow it down. What does that look like? Uncertainty. It looks like a man pulling away a little bit. Now, when a man is inconsistent, that means there's just a lack of attraction. I'm taking you for granted, or I do not want to invest my resources heavily in you, but I still want the assets. So what usually happens is consistency will turn, it doesn't say here, I'm just telling you. Consistency is a great thing, but when you're inconsistent, ladies, and you're still around, it turns to casual. If you're, it's like marinating. If you're still in the picture after it's casual, it turns into convenience. There's no reason for me to invest in you. You're not going anywhere. I can come and go when I please because that's your standard. That's what you showed me is okay. Now, consistency, ladies, is the ultimate sign that a man is interested in you. The best indicator is a man's commitment to you, like his resources in you over long term, okay? So to get even more accuracy, you need 2 more ingredients. Not just consistency, but like I said, the resources and it actually progressing towards a relationship. Ladies, if you have a man putting forth the effort, over time, he's investing his resources, time, energy, effort, money, emotional investment, all getting to know you, depth, stuff like that. Depth, that's a D-E-P-T-H, not death. And then it's actually, it feels like it's progressing towards something. And when I say progressing, I don't mean just 1 date to 2 dates to 3 dates to 4 dates to 5 dates. I mean, that's good, but it's starting to paint a picture, right? And it's starting to paint a narrative. And it's starting to take a direction, a focus, I guess you can say. It starts to feel more genuine, more authentic, like you guys are growing into each other and getting to know each other, and it starts to feel like we care for one another in a relationship. That's when you know it's going well. Ladies, anyone can give you a date after date after date, especially if I'm getting the assets and I'm getting entertained by the assets. But when a guy truly likes you, okay, you see the narrative. It's a storytelling almost. I know that sounds corny, but it's the truth. Now, the real question a lot of you probably have is, can I bounce back from a man who's inconsistent? He's inconsistent, Elliot. What do I do? Well, here's the bad news, ladies. 90% of the time, no, you can't. And no, you're not part of the 10%. Everyone thinks they're part of the 10%. That's the exception to the rule. Now, besides me just being a mean jerk, you're probably going to want to know, well, why can't I bounce back from it? Because most of the time, while it's not impossible, it's just not worth it. You have to understand that when he's inconsistent, it's through the narrative he has in the perspective he has in his mind, okay? It's not your job. Well, I mean, I guess it is your job to change that because why would he change it if he doesn't care? But what I'm saying is it's really hard to change it. The narrative is already there. It's really hard to change it. For you to change it, there has to become an extra investment from your side. Either trying harder, doing something different, communicating more, getting more validation, trying to see him more to get that new image in his head. It's just not worth it. You're giving up so much power to a guy who already sees you as convenient, okay? So this is just going to make you more convenient. Now, I do think you can stop the bleeding, though, by either calling his inconsistency out, something I said in the very beginning, or just be completely done with him after you communicate your needs and you actually do your part, okay? So, what do I mean by that? When I say do your part, what does that mean? If you already put in the effort, and you should be doing this, ladies. Like, ladies like to play this game so much. I don't think a woman should play a game. I think you show your value the most when you go along with the narrative that you want, which is, hey, I like you. There's no reason for me to hide it. But if you're not going to reciprocate it, I'm done. And then you pull back. That's where you're strong. A lot of women think they lose value because they reach out here or they ask to see the guy here or they initiate. No. It's when you're the only one doing it, you see that he's not doing it, and then you continue to do it. It's again, going back to marinating. I hate using that analogy because it's food, but it's the truth. It's like when you stick around and you sit in this filth, is when it's a problem. As soon as you see the bullshit, you call it out. If he doesn't change, ladies, you step back. That's where you get value. There's nothing, I tell my clients this all the time. There's nothing wrong with reaching out to a guy, saying hi to a guy first, the good mornings, There's nothing wrong with asking to see him on and go on a date. There's nothing wrong with you paying for the third or fourth date if you paid for the first. Like, there's nothing wrong with all that. But it's crazy in 2021 and 2022, women come to me all the time and say they don't want to do that because they don't want to look like they're chasing. You're not chasing. You're interested. Chasing is when you stick around and it's very one-sided, and then you stick around because you're so outcome dependent that you're hoping for change, and then that's the advantage that he takes, or I guess that's the advantage he takes advantage of. That's where it becomes a problem. There's nothing wrong with that, nothing wrong with you doing your part. But as soon as you see him not doing his role, you got to step back. That's a teammate you do not want on your team, okay? So the reason it works so well, meaning like pulling back and just being done with your shit, is it's kind of hard to argue with logic. If it's really obvious that you're making an effort and he's not, especially when you have said something to him before and that, again, you are doing your part, you have the moral ground. And the only thing he can really do to you ladies is gaslight you. Oh, you're overreacting or you're being sensitive. It's like, you know, I tell him when a guy says that, it's like, hey, if you want to avoid that, all you gotta do is communicate, bro. Like, you can sit on the toilet and tell me you're busy, but you're not. And then he's gonna try to gaslight you again. Well, fuck, you're the only woman who I have to tell this shit. No, just like, dude, shut up. No, I'm not. Like, and trust me, I know this as a guy, as a dating coach. Women come to me all the time about this bullshit. You're not the only girl calling this dude out on it. He's just gaslighting you. And then if that's the case, then you just pull away. You're done with it, okay? Another reason it works, as I just said, you did your part. He can't turn it around on you. If you literally did your part and he's not reciprocating, like, why would you keep going? It just doesn't make sense. It's just very obvious. It's like, bro, this is not me. This is you. And if he says he's too busy for work or too busy with this, too busy with that he can't even consistently communicate with you, it's like, dude, you're just on Tinder to be on Tinder, dude. You're wasting everyone's. You don't want a relationship. If you do, at least admit you don't want one with me, so I'm not wasting my time. Like, women need to be very logical with men. It's like, again, okay, so you're on Tinder and everything was going good for the last 2 weeks, and all of a sudden, when it starts to feel serious, you're busy and you're working, and you can't even sit on the effing toilet and tell me this. It's like, bro, like, stop, dude. Like, I've been through it. Stop, girls. I see this all the time. And lastly, it works because you're pulling back. I would pull back just to see how, after calling it out, and again, he's not fixing the problem or changing or doing his part, I'd pull back to see how he reacts. And the reason I say that is because if you mentioned it to him before and if he knew you were serious, he would change. But if you pull back and you don't see change, well, then you know he just doesn't give a shit and you're wasting your time, which you shouldn't be. So what are the problems with just pulling back? Sometimes, ladies, this is what I see. You will cave. Again, some women are just so outcome dependent that they desire an outcome, because of that, they usually fear losing him. They're fearful. They act out of the fear. Then they come back around. Or he just gives her some little bullshit excuse or bullshit saying, or comes back and her glass wall just shatters and he's back in. Secondly, you have to call it out first. Like I said, a lot of women just pull back, just play games. You got to call it out, because if you don't, then you're being passive aggressive. Okay, which leads to the next thing. Do you have the moral ground? Because listen, if you're not calling him out and you're just starting drama due to narratives you have in your own head and you're trying to play games back and stuff, you're just being passive aggressive. Ladies, you gotta call it out. And like I said in the very beginning, I'd call it out in a very nice way. More of a concern. Hey, you good? You okay? Are you too busy? Because you acting like a dumb motherfucker now. Don't say that part. But you act like something's up. Just wanted to make sure, I'm not accusing you of anything and things like that. Okay. Oh, that was the last one. Sorry. So, ladies, with that being said, going back to here. Well, actually, here I'll say, can you change it if he's already inconsistent? No, it's an attraction thing, which is why I say go all the way back here and get this. It starts with this. Okay. Then if he's inconsistent, it's because he's either taking you for granted or he's unsure about you. If that's the case, call it out, get some clarity. And if If it's not working out, then you need to stop it. You need to stop the bleeding by actually pulling away and giving him an opportunity, ladies, to miss you. A lot of women always ask me, is he going to come back around? Is he going to come back around? Elliot, how long does it take him to miss me? Motherfucker, you're not even out of the picture yet. Why would he miss you? You're not even out of the picture. You're still answering his calls. You're still answering his texts. He could be gone for 2 weeks and he texts you and you respond. Miss you? You don't even give him the opportunity to. Okay? So that being said, ladies, I love you all. Take care. Get the guide. Don't be the reason you're failing with men, and peace.